Good afternoon to another NDC Heartbeat podcast. We want to welcome all those who are listening on radio via WeFM, Vibes FM, Spice Capital Radio, 100.5 FM out of Grenville, right along out of New York, and others. We also welcome those who are on the NDC Facebook platform and also on YouTube. A great Sunday afternoon to you. What we're going to be doing this afternoon is to share with you, from popular request, highlights of the recently concluded 47th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM. I think you will find it to be rather informative, educational, and I do hope that you enjoy the excerpts which we will share with you. Before we commence the highlights of the recently held CARICOM conference, just coming in is a press release from the Prime Minister's office, and I'd just like to read this out to you. It states, "Congratulations to our decathlon champion Lyndon Victor. The government of Grenada congratulates Mr. Lyndon Victor OBE on his amazing performance at the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. Government expresses its deepest gratitude to Mr. Victor for his continued stellar representation of our nation on the world stage. Once again, Lyndon Victor has shown that he is one of the greatest athletes in the world by copying bronze in the decathlon, giving Grenada its first medal at the Paris Olympics. His determination and perseverance embody the Grenadian spirit and is testimony to his dedication and persistent pursuit of excellence. The entire Grenadian community must share in this honor, particularly the people and organizations that have worked and supported Mr. Victor during this ongoing journey. Lyndon's family witnessed his remarkable achievement as he proudly represented Grenada. His continued representation is a source of great pride and inspiration to all our people and reminds us that dreams can become a reality when we work hard to achieve them. Indeed, we salute a young man who has overcome many challenges and who has defied the odds in becoming one of the best in the world. We look forward to the rest of the Olympics and celebrating more successes as we cheer on all our athletes flying our flag proudly in this, our 50th year of independence." This is a press release issued this morning by the Office of the Prime Minister. The political leader of the National Democratic Congress and Prime Minister of Grenada, now recently elected Chairman of CARICOM, joins with all Grenadians in extending a huge congratulations to Karani James on his success today at the Paris Olympics. We take this opportunity to also congratulate the entire Grenada team at the Paris Olympics and wish you continued successes as the Games progresses. Congratulations from Grenada. Congratulations from the National Democratic Congress. Continue to make Grenada proud. We would also share with you at this time a short video on the NDC's progress over the past 2 years in celebrating our second anniversary. Stay with us. Back with you in a moment. Here now is the NDC video showcasing its government's accomplishments over the past 2 years as we celebrated 2 years in office. It also shows some of the futuristic plans of the NDC government.
On the morning of June 23rd, 2022, the sun rose to a new era of hope. Amidst a nation yearning for change, thousands of you put your mark on a better future, determined to build it block by block. Today, the future you voted for is under construction. There are fresh new investments in the local economy, and our policy also points, even more importantly, to greater investments in our people. Our economy continues to grow, and unemployment is on its way down. More funding is now available for small business development, and the support for and promotion of the creative industry sector has positioned us to benefit from this new era driven by creativity, technology, and innovation. We are attracting more foreign direct investments, fueling a boom in construction. The tourism sector is strong as it has ever been. 2 years in, we understand this is the early part of the journey, but a Grenadian rebirth fueled by that hope and our collective determination is at hand. And what are the building blocks of this future? We have championed the interest of workers by honoring the commitment to their pensions, while at the same time increasing the minimum wage in all sectors, instituting increase in salary and fringe benefits to public servants, beginning bi-monthly payments, and instituting the regularization of workers. We have sent a clear signal to the private sector as well, to honor the dignity of work. This government is also systematically strengthening the commitment to education through both legislative and practical action. Always clear that a solid education is the gateway to our people's prosperity and empowerment. We have promoted profound changes to our school system, including introducing an education amendment bill, free tuition to TAMCC, expanding the school feeding program, and ensuring access to more scholarships. Understanding that a nation's value is measured in the way it looks after its young and its elderly, we have set about to strengthen our social compact to improve and expand social services to our elderly citizens. We have also announced the launch of innovative programs to engage our youth. For this government, it's clear that interventions are needed if we are to, especially, save our sons. We understand that charity begins at home, and we are boldly doing these things. But we are also busy restoring our good name globally. Grenada is engaging the world again, driven by a leader who continues to inspire us all, but also who has captured the imagination of the global community. This Dickon Mitchell administration has begun to expand its diplomatic footprints as a means of opening more opportunities for our people. We have become a leader in the push for reparatory justice. For example, recently writing to the Bank of England, calling upon it to make reparations on account of its direct role in the 1780s enslavement of Africans and their descendants here in Grenada. In the last generation, Grenadians have never been as proud as we all are now, as highlighted by our landmark 50th Independence Anniversary celebrations. 2 years is not a long time, especially when you are trying to completely transform a nation. But we have started out strong. We are giving urgent attention to the healthcare sector with the development of a new, modern teaching hospital. In addition, we are preparing to launch Project 500, a transformative housing program that will provide affordable homes for our citizens. Our skills training program is also set to commence in the coming months. Reflecting on these past 2 years, we are filled with pride, but you haven't seen anything yet. We've only just begun. In a world full of challenges, we know the future is ours, and we are marching forward together.
The heads of government of the Caribbean community participated in a spice tree planting initiative at the Laura Herb and Spice Garden located at Laura Land, St. David, prior to the conclusion of the three-day regional meeting in Grenada. The tree planting initiative is testimony to the will of the heads to ensure that Grenada can return to its glory days of having a significant count of spices on the island. Over 14 trees were planted, including spice, cloves, nutmeg, and cinnamon. The first 3 trees were planted by the outgoing chair of CARICOM, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of Guyana, current Chairman, Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell, and Honorable Mia Motley, Prime Minister of Barbados. Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell took a moment to welcome his CARICOM colleagues.
I really didn't intend to say much other than to really welcome my colleagues to Laura, welcome again to St. David, and welcome to the Minor Spice Cooperative, who, as we've pointed out, has really been staying the course in terms of promoting the continued cultivation and agro-processing of spices. I want to thank the Minister and his team for putting on this event. They insisted on it, and I think you can see why. Grenada has always been known of the Isle of Spice, and I think it's important for us to continue that tradition.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Isaac Bagwan, expressed gratitude to the heads for participating in the tree planting initiative, saying it aids the Ministry of Agriculture's continuous work on revitalizing the Laura Spice Garden.
This is a special estate for government. It's one of 5 surviving estates. Of course, the areas of the hotels have been dwindling, and as I said, this is one of the surviving estates. We have been in the process of revitalizing it. In fact, only last week, the Minister of Agriculture and a team of us were looking at these government estates to see how can we revive them and to get them to get back into production. I'm happy when our former Minister, Adrian Thomas here, when they had started the initiative last year, and with the blessings of the Prime Minister, to have a spice planting, a National Day of Spice Planting. And the natural selection was obviously here. And when the Prime Minister recently indicated that we must do and we must get our CARICOM ministers involved, then the natural choice was coming back to Laura here, because in fact it lends itself to that, being a spice and herb garden.
Minister for Agriculture Honorable Lennox Andrews said this planting of spices signifies the importance of Grenada's spice industry.
Grenada, known as the Isles of Spice, has a rich history intertwined with the cultivation and trade of spices. And today, we reaffirm our commitment to this legacy. Spices are more than just agricultural products for us. They are part of our identity and heritage. The unique flavors and aromas of Grenadian spices, such as nutmeg, cinnamon, and cloves, are renowned worldwide. By planting spice trees, we are not only preserving this heritage, but also securing a sustainable and prosperous future for our country.
Curacao is optimistic about the benefits of being an associate member of the Caribbean community. The country became the 6th associate member on Sunday, July 28th, during the 47th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government in Grenada. Prime Minister His Excellency Gilmar Pisas said the future of Curacao is brighter now because it is a part of a unified, resilient space with shared vision for growth and development for all members. He said just as his country can benefit from the Union, so too can other countries benefit directly from Curacao in renewable energy, digital technology, climate resilience, and telecommunications.
For us, it's when you are outside CARICOM, you don't know how it works. But now that I'm associate member at Curacao, that we get more information, and for us, it's going to be very good progress in being a unity, being together, fighting against a lot of things. You can say climate change, you can say economic development, you can say IT, communication, a lot of things a lot of themes that we can be talking about. And for us as a part of the CARICOM right now, it's going to be things for Curacao. Things are going to get better. And we are looking forward to keep working together.
The acceptance of the Dutch island as its newest member is testament to CARICOM's commitment to regional integration and cooperation.
50 years, we're strong, and more to come. Ladies and gentlemen, while we are in the applauding mood, I'd like to invite you to give a round of applause to all our athletes representing us in Paris at this time. And I'd like to invite at this time a cultural presentation which features Aquino Romaine, spoken word artist, performing a piece called Yui.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before I begin, I just want to ask a question. Do we have any UE alumni here today? Ooh, that's good. So I just want to get a little bit more specific. Do we have anybody from Mona? All right. Cave Hill? All right. The best campus, St. Augustine? All right. A little bit more specific. Anybody stayed on hall? We have any Milnerites inside there? Okay, hello. Lovely. Right. So this piece is entitled UE, and it was written while I went to UE. So for those of you who attended the University of the West Indies, you would understand the Caribbean unity and camaraderie I felt at school and what inspired this piece. I wonder if UE got its name by chance. Why it couldn't be UOC, University of the Caribbean. I wonder if serious thought was given to the letters they put in together, to the acronym they making and the name they creating, because the name they created could never have been more fitting. You see, this Caribbean we live in is all you, we. A name that reflects individuality, and in the same breath, togetherness. You are all from different islands, but we make up the Caribbean. We make me a citizen of the region. I no longer Grenadian. I Vinci, Lucian, Trini with a little Antigua, and I can't mention every island, but you check what I mean. And you, nah. We have made it so that we highlight our differences, which is fair. We are all unique. But a similar story is told in the different creoles we speak. We are more common than we know or like to admit, but division has more short-term benefits. Check this. What a Grenadian called French cashew, a Trinidad called pomerac, but that don't change the fact that it's red. And when you cut it, the flesh white. So because he Bajan and he Jamaican, that don't change the fact that we fought and still fighting the same fight. Maybe with variations, but our nations are plagued with similar strains like crime, corruption, climate change, and political climates that can change. And when politicians ready to reign, the clouds of corruption that swell and bust on who? You, we, on us. And when you sit and reflect that all are we wet, that is when you realize we ain't so different. You, we recognize the slice of paradise we have. We're similarly blessed indeed, as chronics say, I'm pleased to be chilling in the West Indies. Chicken curry, curry chicken. And as far as I know, Accra and fish cake is the same thing. Different things, differences, but different is what makes us beautiful. Our beauty is why we are duty-filled to protect what we hold dear. That's why you, we are here. That's another commonality we share. A goal and a vision for a better region. You, we have more in common than dry and wet season, or a preference for food that well seasoned. I believe that you, we have an obligation, a mission that transcends the boundaries of our individual nations. You, we are the salvation for little pieces of heaven. You, we are the catalyst for change. You, we have the brains and the brawn. I'd like to believe our unity isn't entirely gone, that we recognize that victory is only possible when we unite as one, that our ultimate interests are common, that capital hasn't clouded our vision for a better region. Unity is our best bet. And if you, we, even with a set of degrees, can see that, then you, we fail. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to invite Secretary General of CARICOM, Her Excellency Dr. Carla Barnett, to make opening remarks.
Your Excellency, Dame Cecile La Grenade, Governor General of Grenada, Honorable Deacon Mitchell, Prime Minister of Grenada and Chairman of the Conference, Your Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and outgoing Chairman of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, Ministers, Heads of Delegation, Heads of International and Religious, Heads of International and Regional Institutions, Members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished delegates, citizens of the Caribbean community, representatives of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I extend a very warm welcome to this rescheduled 47th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community. In a demonstration of remarkable resilience and courage, we are being ably and graciously hosted by the government and people of Grenada, who for the past 4 weeks have been fully occupied with the extensive assessment, recovery, rebuilding necessitated by the devastation caused by Hurricane Beryl on Monday, July 1. On behalf of the community, we offer condolences to all Grenadians who lost family members and possessions. We also extend our sympathies to the wider CARICOM family in Barbados, Jamaica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who are also heavily impacted by the hurricane. The community stands with you as efforts continue to return to normal life. Prime Minister Mitchell, I voice our deep appreciation for the warm hospitality with which we have been received and for the exceptional arrangements in place for our engagements over the next 2 days. Grenada is of historic importance to CARICOM. It is here, in the Spice Isle, that the Granance Declaration and Work Program for the advancement of the integration movement was signed in 1989. That occasion stamped our commitment to work expeditiously together to deepen the integration process and strengthen the Caribbean community. 35 years later, our movement is still vibrant and influential, a testament to the strength of the resolve that was shown at Granance and before that at Chaguaramas. It is therefore with great pleasure that I welcome the Prime Minister Mitchell to the chairmanship of the conference. Since he joined the conference in June 2022 as Grenada's newly elected leader, he has shown his deep commitment to the integration process and his attention to science and technology, including information and communications technology, for which he has lead responsibility in the quasi-cabinet of CARICOM heads of government. Chair, we are assured that under your astute guidance, this 47th regular meeting and for the next 6 months, the business of the community will be ably directed. I also extend congratulations to you and all Grenadians as you mark your golden jubilee of independence. And even as our celebrations of CARICOM's 50th anniversary end, we acknowledge our member states, namely Antigua and Barbuda, Belize, Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who mark 50 years of CARICOM membership this year. Since we met last face-to-face in Guyana in February 2024, the community has been guided with decisiveness, determination, and energy by our outgoing chair, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. There have been notable achievements under his chairmanship, including increased engagement with Africa and the Middle East, advances on initiatives to increase the region's food and nutrition security, and arrangements to widen the membership of CARICOM. Importantly, there have been landmark advancements in managing the multifaceted crisis in our sister member state, Haiti. A governance structure comprising a transitional presidential council is represented here today. Welcome very much, the president of the Transitional Presidential Council, has been established and through which a new cabinet has been appointed. We must note the critical role played by CARICOM heads of government and the eminent persons group in bringing Haiti to the point of a transitional government represented at this meeting by Senator Edgar LeBlanc Fields, head of the Transitional Presidential Council. The coming months are crucial to Haiti's future stability, and CARICOM remains ready to continue its support as needed. I also acknowledge our distinguished special guests at this 47th regular meeting, the Right Honorable Patricia Scotland, KC, daughter of Dominica and Antiguan soil, and a staunch advocate of the value of collective action to deepen integration and advance development. Regrettably, she is unable to join us physically for this rescheduled meeting, but we look forward to her virtual participation. Two CARICOM stalwarts will be recognized with the region's highest honor, the Order of the Caribbean Community, in this evening's opening ceremony. West Indian cricketer extraordinaire Sir Clive Lloyd of Guyana, and former CARICOM Secretary General Mr. Roderick Rainford of Jamaica will join the pantheon of awardees recognized for their phenomenal contributions and legacy to regional integration and identity. I congratulate them both and express our appreciation for exemplifying the best of our region. Ladies and gentlemen, our integration movement has entered into the second half of its journey to a century. As we celebrated our 50th anniversary during last year, we took stock of our achievements and evaluated our faithfulness to the ideals of our integration movement, even as we acknowledge that there is still much more work to be done. There's no denying that there are many noteworthy successes. CARICOM has led or supported critical hemispheric and global issues that have influenced the thinking of some of the major countries of the world. Our relentless voice regarding the crisis in Haiti, our call for activation of the Loss and Damage Fund for our vulnerable small island and low-lying coastal developing states, recognition by all the independent member states of the region to the state of Palestine, advocacy for the two-state solution to resolve the long-standing conflict in Israel, and our call for the end to the ongoing war in Gaza. In all of these issues, we have signaled our perspicacity, courage, and unity to the global community. Our growing impact and stature has led to an increasing number of expressions of interest from countries in the hemisphere to participate more fully in CARICOM. In 1973, 4 founding member states signed the original Treaty of Chaguaramas. Today, we comprise a vibrant membership of 15 member states and 5 associate members, with Curacao set to be formally installed as our 6th associate member today. I warmly welcome His Excellency Gilmar Pisas, Prime Minister of Curacao, and his delegation, and look forward to Curacao's active engagement as the newest member of the CARICOM family. Excellencies, delegates, and guests, I have a steadfast belief in the potential of CARICOM to be a force for good for every Caribbean man, woman, and child. Our dynamic interplay in economic coordination, functional cooperation, foreign policy coordination, security cooperation, tourism, education, agriculture, and health is one of the hallmarks of our success, truly exemplifying the theme of this meeting, one people, one journey, one future. However, while we share a common ancestry, history, heritage, our countries are known for their diversity. Blending these distinct and sometimes dissimilar characteristics is no easy feat. It is testament to our respect for each other and our vision and our love for the region and its people that our integration movement continues to deepen, thrive, and make a difference. I note in particular the important role played by our regional institutions in solidifying our integration. This was especially evident most recently following Hurricane Beryl, where the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency provided critical support to our assessment and relief efforts. We have taken notable steps towards realizing some of the main tenets of the Grenance Declaration signed on this soil in July 1998. The free movement of nationals in the community, the provision of a reliable and cost-effective regional transportation system, establishment of the CARICOM single market and economy, economic and political cooperation and common market instruments. As our countries reinforce resilience and growth, it is critical that this 47th regular meeting advances these and other discussions and decisions intrinsic to the objectives of CARICOM integration. The staff of the Secretariat remain committed to giving our usual support to member states and their programs. We have been intentionally engaging the private sector, civil society, indigenous peoples, women, and especially young people who are the future of our region. Intergenerational views benefit the community with fresh, innovative perspectives, and we will continue to leverage these together. As one people, we journey into our collective future. My hope is that as we rise from this 47th meeting, more aware, more confident of our strength, and more focused on the tangible outputs, food, health, shelter, education, social interaction, and social justice, that will ensure the development and prosperity of our Caribbean community and its people. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to invite His Excellency, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and outgoing Chairman of the Caribbean Community.
Thank you very much. From the very onset, allow me to first of all indulge you in a brief moment of reflection as we, people of faith, ask for the strength of those families who have lost loved ones in Beryl, and for the communities that are healing and devastated, and the leaders of those countries who has a responsibility of rebuilding with limited resources, that they too be given the strength of leadership during these difficult times. I ask you to reflect in prayers. I thank you. My dear friends, we can look at life from many dimensions. Professor Thomas always asks a question when he addressed regional institutions and regional gatherings like these. Is the glass half full or half empty? It's an important question that we must address. I have deliberately allow myself to follow the inspiration from my dear friend, Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves. And his inspirations are normally very long. So if I am very long this evening, it is only because of his inspiration. But allow me from the onset to thank the Secretary General, the Bureau, and the staff of the Secretariat for their enormous support and hard work during my tenure as chairman. But I wish not to reflect on my tenure as chairman because the governance mechanism of CARICOM speak to a bureau. And I wish, therefore, to position my remarks within the context of that bureau. But I wish to remind us all that today we are meeting at a time when the world faced many challenges and crises, none of which originate from this region. The climate crisis did not originate from this region. The energy crisis did not originate from this region. The inequality crisis did not originate from this region. The crisis of indignity did not originate from this region. But this region faced and continue to face these challenges that we must confront. Sometimes we do not celebrate who we are, and we do not get the glamorous headlines across the world for the contributions we are making as a region and the difference we are making as a region. And we do not seek after those glamorous headlines. But I think if we do not correct the narrative that is sometimes used to define us, and the narrative that is used to set us in a certain frame, we'll be doing a continuous injustice to those before us, those who are with us, and those who will come in the future. And I wish to highlight some of these issues and position CARICOM and for the people of this region to be the judge as to the question that is consistently asked about the relevance of CARICOM, the importance of CARICOM. These questions can be easily put to rest. And I want to do so tonight with some examples. Today, all of us in this room, we face rising prices. And all of us, in a reflect action, point all our fingers to the government. But what about the system that is failing us globally? What about the fact that in the last, I'm not ever going to go back to COVID, because we spent 2 years redirecting resources for education, for infrastructure, for agriculture, for security, to fight COVID, to give our people an opportunity to live. We did this with resources from our budgets. We did this with very little international help. We did this with some strong friendship that those before us would have created for us that we must go back to. But we succeeded. How many headlines will speak to that crisis and how the leadership of the region navigated that crisis? As I speak to you today, in the last 6 months alone, We're importing inflation at a record level. The cost of shipping increasing by more than 1,000%, 800%. We did not cause that. We did not create the conflict around the world that is driving up the cost of shipping, but we are facing those challenges with the increased cost of shipping. The increased cost of energy. The countries that must now direct budgetary resources that should have gone to health care, but now to rebuild after Beryl. Where is the voices of the private sector and all those who profess immense love for the region in helping the leadership of the region to call upon the international community to support the redevelopment and to support the rebuilding of the economies that suffered even from this latest hurricane? Very few voices, but all fingers are pointed to the leadership and the governments. Without an acknowledgement of the challenges, we as leaders are not shying away from the challenges. Prime Minister Rowley convened a regional conference on security, acknowledging that we have a problem, but went beyond that, allowing the region to understand the source of the problem and the importance of addressing the source of the problem, and then developing a holistic approach in dealing with the revelation of the problem. But that aspect of the discourse becomes absent. Important aspect of the discourse, but it becomes absent. You know, what we fought for as a people and as a region is sometimes forgotten. First, we then had to fight for an identity. After we fought for dignity and identity, we then had to fight to ensure we had our own values and values were not imposed upon us, so that we can have our own value system. And now, as we fought these battles, we have to now fight to ensure we build systems that work for us and not systems that are imposed upon us. We have to build systems that work for our region. And this requires the private sector, it requires government, it requires the academic community. We have to come together and build systems that work for us. We have to trust in ourselves. We have to have faith in each other. And we have to have hope about the future. Is the glass half full or half empty? Sir Clive Lloyd, an example that we can all take a page from. Leading not a cricket team, West Indies cricket team was not only fighting to win cricket matches, they were fighting for an identity. They were fighting for a culture. They were fighting for freedom. They were fighting for people. They were fighting against oppression. And we led that fight. West Indies cricket led that fight. This region led that fight. Make no mistake about it. On the issue of democracy, and I'm only going to go in the last 3 or 4 years because we forget these things. It's very easy to lump the entire system into a basket and then set the basket in a river. But on the issue of democracy, as chair of CARICOM, I sat colleagues, SG and her team, for hours upon hours, days upon days. We went to Jamaica. Jamaica convened a special meeting, invited all stakeholders. Well, let's me backstep. In Guyana, we held a special breakfast with all international stakeholders in the region. Then we went to Jamaica. Jamaica, Belize, then invested money. Jamaica invested in training security personnel. And then we left our normal duties and sometimes spent 6-7 hours in the night. What did we spend that time on? The people we love, the people of Haiti, to ensure that Haiti was returned along a path of democracy. And many media outlets in the region and extra-regionally call us all type of names, tell us we are in all different pockets and we are sellout. Today, and I want to thank former Prime Minister Henry, because he was the part of the process of resigning himself and government. And today, we have a presidential council, a prime minister, and we remain strongly committed to the task of ensuring Haiti return to full normalcy, democracy, and governance. Make no mistake, this was no easy task. This was not accidental. This was hard work, sustained work, and commitment from this region. And we don't want to be applauded. We don't want to secure the headlines for this. But I want to put on the record today that the leadership of this region must be applauded, and I want Haiti to know. I want the people of Haiti to know. Never, ever, never, ever reduce the role CARICOM played in this situation. Never be led to believe that we were in any pockets. The only pocket we were in was the pocket of the people, for the love of the people, the freedom of the people, and the return of normalcy in Haiti. I want to thank Jamaica, Belize, St. Kitts, Barbados, St. Vincent, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada. I want to thank every single head, every single member of the CARICOM family that allowed us to achieve this significant moment in regional life. I say to the leadership of Haiti and the people of Haiti, we remain strongly committed to you, to our love for you, and our love for the people of Haiti. On that note, I want to recognize the eminent persons group who worked relentlessly, and to say to the leadership of Haiti openly, we have said it in meetings, we are prepared to support Haiti with this group continuing its work alongside you, in support of you. Not to lead, in support of you. The eminent persons group remain a mechanism to help and support you on this journey to democracy and good governance. In my own country, also, in 2020, we were faced with tremendous threat to our democracy. CARICOM again turned up. CARICOM again, many leaders were called all kinds of things. In Parliament, in the news, and from all stakeholders. But they quietly stuck to their commitment for this region and for Guyana. And again, I thank them. Our security threat. It was easy for a big news agency to highlight the threat to our national security in Guyana. Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves. Again, go to many of the headlines and see how this was characterized too. Convened a meeting among regional heads, brought together all sides, and we avoided disaster for this region. This is the region I'm talking about. Speaking about disaster and climate justice and climate change, there is no stronger voice on climate change than the voices of the leaders of this region, led by Prime Minister Motley. Enormous work on reforming the financial system. And not only for this region, for every single country, every sixth country, Prime Minister Motley is championing every single day the reform of the financial system to bring climate justice, not only to us, but to all those who are suffering. We don't hear about this. This small region, no louder voice on climate than Prime Minister Motley. This region, no other best practice on forestry, leading the charge on forestry, leading the charge on biodiversity, ensuring that we maintain our forests, lowest deforestation rate in the world. No other country, and we, a country that forms part of the CARICOM region, is providing this leadership. Do we hear about it? Do we celebrate it? Do we do case studies on this in the classes and universities? Or do we continuously look at the glass half empty? Sports. We just concluded a T20 World Cup. To host this, the governments invested millions of dollars to ensure that our people can have the best sporting event here too. No issues. Flawless. From our responsibility. I can't say from the ICC responsibility. I can speak from our responsibility. Not a single headline recognizing the investments. Trinidad and Tobago. Everybody can complain about the state of cricket. But the leaders were bold enough to call a conference specifically designed on cricket. Where are the headlines? Where are the headlines? Financial instruments. The partnership SG spoke of, expanding our reach with Afri-Exim Bank, with Africa, trying to build financial instruments, bringing in new investments. Where are the headlines on this? It's as if these things never occurred. It's as if these things never occurred. Afri-Exim Bank now having a permanent place in the region with a headquarters in Barbados. Or do we find them insignificant to recognize them? Or it does not fit the construct of the narrative to believe that these regions can be part of the solution, Prime Minister Rowley? The choice is ours. We can be silent, or we can work together. We can define ourselves, or continue to allow ourselves to be defined. Choice is just ours. As he spoke about CARICOM, expanded interest. Interest in expanding through associate membership and interest in being a part of us from new areas around the world. Persons writing to be accredited, countries writing to be accredited. We must be doing something right. There must be some recognition of CARICOM and what we can offer. Energy security. And I saw Prime Minister Rowley, you signed a new energy pact. I also saw Chevron getting to 2050. It's a reality. Look at all the headlines in the region. Two situations occurring at the same time. Examine the headlines. Justice. Do we trust ourselves? Do we trust ourselves to ensure that we can provide a justice among ourselves? The CCJ. Outstanding judgments from the CCJ. Tremendous work in improving the delivery of justice from the CCJ. It is time we boldly embrace our own ability to provide justice for ourselves and the people of this region. Transportation. Bold initiatives. Year after year, we are asking the private sector to come forward. Guyana, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, and others decided that we can't wait anymore. We'll advance the cause. What happened? From the time we advance the cause, you hear some members in the private sector say, this is our responsibility. We agree it's our responsibility, but be bold, innovative, take the risk and invest in it so that we can end this problem in our region.
For those of you who are listening on radio, we now invite you to tune over to our online platform, NDC Heartbeat online platform, and also on YouTube, because the program will be extending beyond 1 p.m. Thank you.
Everything comes back to the government. You know, I'd be bold enough to say we can continue buying and selling and distributing, or we can start building our productive capacity and capability in the region. But to do so, we have to start supporting what we use in the region. How are we going to do it? We can't do it by talking. We have to do it by ensuring every stakeholder is on board. The distributors must not only see profit in bringing in stuff and selling, they must see the opportunity in innovation and product development to meet the needs of the region. And we believe in private sector growth. We believe in supporting the private sector. That is why we want the private sector to do it. We will create the enabling environment, the conducive environment. But that environment has to be utilized if we are to bring the benefit to our people. So my friends, in every category, sports, Jamaica is going to make us proud, as well as Trinidad and Tobago and many of the countries here at Olympics. But you know what? We will celebrate as a region, all our athletes. Put your hands together for athletes. And our athletes will rightfully secure the headlines across every newspaper, but not one line would recognize the investment that was made by governments to enable the performance of our athletes. Whether it's the High Performance Center in Jamaica, whether it's the stadium that you're investing in, Comrade Ralph, that's just a reality. That is just a reality. We have according to the CARICOM World Food Program Livelihood Survey, we have reduced our food insecurity by 17%. By 17% since we started in 2020. That's before Beryl. By 17%. Did we get the headline? Beryl came. The damage to the agricultural sector alone is more than $100 million US. And I'm not counting opportunity costs, because government now must reprioritize where they will spend the money. So guess what? Agriculture will have to take a cut. These are the realities. And as we confront these realities, we must all remember there are more challenges ahead. And as I welcome my brother, Prime Minister Mitchell, the challenges of AI, digitization, and robotics already confronting us. And our leaders are already thinking about it, because that will continue to widen the inequality gap between our competitors and our trading partners and us. But we have to confront these challenges. We have to find investment. Whilst we're doing this, our human assets that we're training are moving. Look at the condition of our nurses now. We invested in training our nurses. A lot of investment too. Where are our nurses going? Yes, we acknowledge that people must go for whatever opportunities you're taking might be better or is better from a profit and loss perspective. But what about compensating us for the training that we provide to fill the gaps that exist in other countries? These are real questions. These are questions that we must examine. We share an important geographic space. And in sharing this geographic space, our commitment to the rule of law, to democracy, to freedom must be unshakable. Unshakable. Our commitment to these three things must be unshakable. But our commitment to ensuring that the societies we build have safeguards that would disallow the type of weapons that are getting into our borders. Just as we have to build our borders, and we're investing our borders, investing in our security system to ensure our borders reduce the negative impact on other borders. Whether it's the movement of drugs, we have to ensure we build stronger systems so that our borders are not used as tools to affect other borders and other countries. We have to fight the drug trade, fight transnational crime. And to do that, we have to invest in security. We have to invest in border protection. We have to invest in port security. We have to meet all international standards, and we are committed to doing so. But we must also ask for some more to be done on ensuring The guns that are coming into our system are not coming into our system. That requires investment and it requires special assistance as we deal with crime and criminality in our society. These are the questions that we'll confront as we gather. These are the questions that we'll seek solutions for. But we will do so with a commitment to the world that this region will always support peace, will always support justice, will always support freedom, and will always support the equitable development of all of humanity. I thank you and God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for. I now invite to the podium the new CARICOM chairman and Prime Minister of Grenada, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, to deliver his CARICOM remarks.
Thank you very much. The laptop says I have the incorrect password. And so I may have to take inspiration from Ralph. But luckily on the second chance, I got the password. Your Excellency, Dame Cecile Lagrenat, Governor General of Grenada, distinguished colleague, heads of government, heads of delegation, members of the diplomatic corps, members of the media, those viewing this evening's proceedings online throughout the region and beyond. Welcome to Grenada. Welcome to Caracou. Welcome to Petit Martinique. And I will claim Union, Mairo, and Canoan this evening. When I hear my voice, it tells me I have something. I'm not so sure if it's, whenever Carnival is coming, you get some kind of flu. But since we had burial, I seem to have developed some sort of allergies or something of the sort. So I'll take it, it's the post-burial allergies or flu. And it's not a joke because since burial, when you wake in the morning, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of these small little flies all over. They blanket the floor, the window. In fact, when you walk on the floor and you look underneath your feet, there's the evidence of this. I assume CAFA or some other regional institution at some point, University of the West Indies, UWI, will assist us in assessing, studying, and telling us what it is and whether it's good or bad for us. So I want to start by, as our school children said to CARICOM, thank you, CARICOM. Thank you, CARICOM, for all that you have done for Grenada, Caracou, and Petit Martinique. When I journeyed to Suriname in 2022 for my first heads of conference meeting, I went back last night and looked at what I said. And you know what happens when you're young and you're fresh and you know come. And I said then we should ensure CARICOM is not an institution that talk and talk and talk some more. President Ali talked a lot this evening. Now, you notice he didn't open his folder. He had a speech. He didn't read it. He got some inspiration from UE. I won't tell you which part of the speech inspired him, but I will call his delivery in defense of CARICOM. And there was no better closing play than the accession of Curacao to this prestigious institution called the Caribbean Community. So I know that CARICOM doesn't just talk and talk and talk some more. I know this because today, President Ali, his foreign minister, his chief of defense staff, journeyed with me this morning to Curacao and Petit Martinique to greet the Guyanese Defense Force soldiers who are right now preparing the police station in Hillsborough in Curacao. Who are right now repairing the Hillsborough Secondary School in Curacao. Who are right now repairing the post office, the district revenue office, and the administrative building in Hillsborough in Curacao. Prime Minister Rowley, within 24 hours of Hurricane Beryl, stopped the 2 Osprey boats that are owned by a Petit Martinican family that had moved to Trinidad for safekeeping to ride out the storm with goods and supplies to send to Grenada. The RSS contingent of soldiers from Antigua and Barbuda and Barbados, notwithstanding that Barbados itself was hit by Hurricane Beryl, were in Caracou and Petit Martinique, providing security support for policemen in Caracou and Petit Martinique. Dominica, which itself was decimated by Hurricane Maria not so long ago, sent Grenada $1 million EC. The British Virgin Islands, $250,000 US. The Cayman Islands, the Premier and an entire delegation flew to Grenada in person to demonstrate their solidarity to Grenada and to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They delivered $250,000 US each to us. So who is coming to save us? Who is coming to save us? So you see, I know that CARICOM doesn't just talk and talk and talk some more. So I want to say, I will continue the in defense of CARICOM speech this evening. And Prime Minister Skirt, who's an outgoing member of the Bureau, always says this. The only people who defend the Caribbean are the politicians. Where is our academia? Where is UE? Where is civic society? Where is the once mighty labor movement that shaped the politics and defined historic eras? Where is the modern day Uriah Buzz Butler? A union man walking in the back. You should come forward, my friend, come forward. I say this because CARICOM doesn't belong to the heads of government. It's the Caribbean community. And we are not going to shape a vision for the next 50 years simply because the heads of government meet. The vision of the Caribbean community is a vision that has to be shaped by the people of the Caribbean. In reflecting on CARICOM's 51 years in existence, I read the speech of Errol Barrow when the Treaty of Chagamras was signed. And in that speech, he made reference to Sir Eric, and I'm calling him Sir Eric, Dr. Eric Williams, whom he said never really wanted to be a politician, who people had to beg. And his thank you is the thank you that the President of Guyana talked about. Relentless criticism, relentless naysayers, allegation of corruption, mismanagement, etc., etc. If that is the narrative that we choose to define CARICOM and ourselves, if that is how we view ourselves, always inadequate, always second best, then we are helping others to easily shape our narrative. But I know that it is CARICOM that prevented the region turning into a war zone like so many other regions currently are right now. I know that it's CARICOM that has responded the swiftest and in the most extensive manner to all plight here in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique from the ravages of Hurricane Beryl. I know that it is CARICOM that is going to take the fight for reparatory justice throughout the length and breadth of the world. I know that it is CARICOM that fights for small island developing states, not just in this region, but small island developing states worldwide. I know it is CARICOM athletes that will shine in Paris. So why with these obvious examples? Why with our RSS? Why with our CCJ? Why with our Caribbean single market and economy? I'll talk a little bit there. I want us to appreciate something. CARICOM is the longest surviving, and survival is not an appropriate adjective. It is the longest thriving integration movement in the developing world. We are talking South and Latin America, we are talking Africa, we are talking Asia. There is no other like CARICOM. And so when we talk about persons wanting to become associate members, we're not just talking about from within the region. There have been inquiries from countries far and wide as to whether there is the opportunity to have a relationship with CARICOM. And why is that? It is because the external world knows and recognizes the value of CARICOM. You can ask them in the UN, when the big boys and girls want your vote, they find a way to come and walk around the chair where Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Guyana, or Trinidad sits. So we must recognize our value. We must shape our narrative that says, you, we,
have the same right as everyone else on this globe. And I want us to appreciate that we have been tested time and time again, and yet we rise. Comrade Gonzalez, in reflecting today, said under his stewardship, he's dealt with at least 10 natural disasters, plus suffering. Two weeks before this hurricane hit Grenada, we were in a state of drought. We had water regulations in place that prevented you from washing your car, filling up a swimming pool. Farmers couldn't get water. 2 weeks later, as soon as the rain started to fall, you get hit with a Category 4 hurricane. So I want us to appreciate that the resilience we have is not something that we should take for granted. It is something that we are in together. You know, I said this at the United Nations in 2022. And I just want to repeat part of it because it reinforces the UE. Mr. President, I was then addressing the president of UNGA. And I said, confronting the climate crisis will require a complete transformation of our mindsets and behaviors also. And importantly, the transformation of our energy sources, economic models, and land stewardship. This is a unique opportunity to come together, welcome innovative ideas, and tackle the problems we have struggled with for generations. I said the plea is not without urgency. I said, as a leader of a small island developing state, SIDS, I'm all too familiar with the devastating effects of climate change and the stark reality that we may not have a country to pass on for future generations. This is not a joke. This is not nice-sounding words. When a mother meets you in CARICOM and asks, why me? When everything that they've worked for is gone. The Ghana Defense Force briefed the president. When you pass people, they are dazed 1 month later. They are still in shock. They are still traumatized. You think after you spent all your life working hard, doing all of the things you've been told to do, and in 45 minutes, right in front of your eyes, it's gone. And it's not just you, it's everyone else. But this isn't just CARICOM and P.T. Martin. With each hurricane season that now brings the more powerful storms, I said that in 2022. Well, anti-Beryl break all records. All records. So we are not imagining or exaggerating or engaging in hyperbole. If ever we understating the urgent reality of what we are facing. I said in 2004 it was Grenada's turn with Hurricane Ivan. In a matter of a mere 8 hours, we lost 34 souls, and the Category 3 storm destroyed over 80% of our housing stock and decimated our economic and fiscal bases, with damages surpassing 200% of our gross domestic product. 10 months later, we got hit with another storm, Hurricane Emily. I said we watched in horror as our brothers and sisters across the Caribbean experienced their turn. Hurricane Irma in 2017. left the island of Barbuda nearly uninhabitable. So when I say we may not have an island or a country to pass on, it's not coming from bombs that we are dropping on another island. It's coming from the climate bombs that others have caused to be dropped on us. Then it was the British Virgin Islands. It lost approximately 85% of its housing stock. 2 weeks later, Hurricane Maria destroyed Dominica. It left 31 people dead, 37 missing, 930 million in damages. Did anyone come to Dominica's rescue? It has become one of the most heavily indebted islands, countries in the world. Because in order to rebuild, it has had to borrow, and borrow from the very people whose actions have led to the ferocity, the increased strength, and the alarming increase in frequency in these hurricanes. And there are people that will always want to fact check us. So let's fact check. I think my mother was born in 1955. That's the year of Hurricane Janet. We did not experience any major hurricane thereafter until 2004. But then in 2005, we got hit. And we're in 2024, and we get hit again. So if you do the math, you went from 1 in every 50 years, odds we could live with, survive with, to 2 every 20 years. So every 10 years, we expect to be hit by a category 3, 4, 5, and it may go off the scale, 6, 7, 8 hurricane. So that is what existential means. It's a big word that everybody uses now. If someone chooses to drop bombs and shell your country, it's existential, but it's easy to stop. The human beings just need to stop. You just have to decide we will end the war, we will sit, we will negotiate, we will call a truce. Explain to the citizens of CARICOM and PT Martinique how we are going to stop these category 4 and 5 hurricanes from hitting them. That is why it is existential. That is why CARICOM must, shall, and will continue to advocate for climate justice. So, my colleague, member of the Bureau, President Ali, talked about some of the technical work that we will engage in over the next 2 days. I want to re-emphasize again that a lot of this work is not of our own doing. The guns that pose a clear and present public health danger are not manufactured in the Caribbean. So yes, national security, crime and criminality, the gun violence is something that we must and will treat with because it poses a clear and present danger to public health and public welfare in the region. I need not speak about Haiti because President Ali has clearly outlined the countless hours and the resources CARICOM has put in supporting our brothers and sisters and the people of Haiti. And I welcome the presence of the President of the Transitional National Council with us today. the Caribbean single market and economy and the movement of people remains a priority, and Prime Minister Motley, who leads this issue, will be with us tomorrow morning, and we intend and expect to make progress on this issue. And I know some of us in the region may be a little cynical on this issue, but as I call out the labor and the business and the civic society, you too can play your part in helping us to find the solutions that leads to more rapid advancement on those issues. Because oftentimes, the timidity may come from the fear of political reactions from the citizens at home. So we have to educate our population and unshackle them from the idea that the free movement of our citizens within CARICOM will do anything other than enhance the growth, the strength, and the solidarity within the Caribbean community. And I said this, when we have disasters, there are no borders. I don't recall any extensive paperwork for the Guyanese Defense Force to be in Carriacou and PT Martinique. I don't recall any extensive paperwork for CDEMA to be in Grenada, to be working, to be providing support to our National Disaster Management Agency. Ms. Riley, thank you. In fact, I don't recall any major extensive paperwork for all of the international donor agencies which are in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique doing work right now. So why are we clinging on to fears? We all know each other. We all know the chicken curry or the curry chicken. So we will continue to advance work on this issue. As chairman, I will champion an ambitious digital transformation agenda as CARICOM's lead on ICT. We have an opportunity in the Caribbean to ensure that for once, we do not get left behind in this technological revolution. And so I will outline tomorrow a proposed strategy for addressing a number of issues across the digital transformation landscape, ranging from cybersecurity to digital health to a digital skills fund, amongst others. We owe it to the next generation of Caribbean citizens to give them the tools and the education to make sure that they can stay in the Caribbean and apply their skills anywhere in the world. Because there is no better place to live than the Caribbean. So I want to conclude by thanking the two members of the Bureau that I worked with prior to my becoming the chairman. The Honorable Roosevelt Skirt, Prime Minister of Dominica. His Excellency President Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Their guidance, their stewardship, their steadfast defense of CARICOM, and more importantly, the significant achievements accomplished under their respective tenure, leaves me in good stead to continue with the work that they have started. I look forward to welcoming Prime Minister Mia Motley, who will take up the chair after I conclude my stint and who therefore becomes a member of the Bureau, to continue to work closely with her and President Ali as we continue to champion all of the issues that he has highlighted, the issues that I have raised. And I want to assure the citizens of the Caribbean community that the glass is half full and it is our responsibility to get it to 3/4 full so that the next generation of Caribbean citizens could take it to 80% and 85%. We know it will never be full. So welcome to Grenada. Thank you for coming. We took the decision to host this meeting notwithstanding the impacts of Hurricane Beryl, because it is important to send the message to the world that Jamaica is open for business. Jamaica is open for business. Barbados is open for business. St. Vincent and the Grenadines are open for business. Grenada is open for business. And as we've said, we shall rise. Thank you very much.
Indeed, you did rise.
Thank you for being part of the Heartbeat today, and join us again next Sunday when we'll have another interesting Heartbeat episode. Have a great Sunday afternoon. Goodbye.